Hello everyone, it is Pat with Angel Divination with our daily Oracle card reading and message for Thursday, the 24th of May, pardon me, 2012. For today's reading, I am going to be calling upon the daily guidance from your angels Oracle card deck for the messages that it's bringing to us today. So, yesterday we had the goddesses with Isolde, Undying Love, and carving out some quiet, sacred space for yourself. So let's see what their message is as we start out with Thursday and going into the weekend. Nothing seems to be jumping out. Do wish the YouTube community to know. Aha. Okay. We get the card Steady Progress. And the message on the card says, we acknowledge you for the progress you've made in remembering love in your daily activities. We can clearly see the contribution you're making to the world through your thoughts, feelings, and actions of love. So again, a message focusing on love, which is what Isolde was reminding us of yesterday. Okay, that only love is real, and that this is a card that's sort of a confirmation of steady spiritual progress and the spiritual work that you've been doing. And even though if sometimes that spiritual work does result in moving away from a relationship, and you are remembering the love and the lessons, but having a difficult time with the heartache, the message of the card speaks to the fact that maybe that has to do with the fact that you're loving yourself more and standing up for yourself and moving away from a toxic situation. And I mean, I like the sentence that's on here. We can clearly see the contribution you're making to the world through your thoughts, feelings, and actions of love. Okay, when we take care of ourselves with a lot of personal care, whether we're nourishing our body or taking care of our spirit, like as was suggested yesterday with the sacred space, we are changing the vibration or what we're emanating out to the world in a positive way. And as the card says, that's part of our contribution that we're making through actions of love. All right, I'm going to read a little bit more in the book about this card. It says, you drew this card as reassurance that you're making steady progress. You sometimes harshly compare yourself to others and feel that you should be farther ahead on your path by now. Ain't that the truth? So, yet look how far you've come and how many lessons you've learned and how many people you've helped. So focus on your progress instead of expecting perfection from yourself. So each day, take at least one small action step concerning a project that you're passionate about. And it's a confirmation that you really are on the right path. Even if it feels like you're moving slowly, even if it feels like, even if you're wondering about it. Trusting your, the actions that you're taking. Sometimes we question it, and it really shouldn't be a question. It should be a decision to trust what you're sensing and trust your guided action. Trust is a huge element. When we make a decision to trust instead of questioning whether we should trust, the difference between those two is that when we question whether we should trust what we're sensing or our intuition pushing us in a direction, that's coming from the ego, and it's really our logical mind stepping in the way. Okay, when we make a decision to trust, that comes from the divine. When we decide to trust that, and put our faith in trust that we are guided, our action steps can be much more sure-footed, and we can have, there's that have confidence card from this very same deck, and that has to do with having confidence that God is working through you when you make that decision to trust. So there's a difference there in intention and energy. So, this card affirms that you're on the right path, and, to appreciate yourself for how far you've come. how many, how many lessons that you've worked through in your lifetime thus far. They may not always have been easy ones, but you got through to the other side, perhaps as a much healthier person. And so, I mean, in this message too, these angels are moving forward with their little candles. And so it really is about shining your light and calling you to continue to shine your light. Okay, I think Angel Steve got a similar message for today from the Angel Therapy deck about, you're a powerful light worker and God and the angels need you to shine your light. And that's a really important message. And this one has a similar one with its little candles in the in the picture, in the painting. And oftentimes that, continuing to shine that light and being, that it shows up in our life in different ways. Okay, sometimes we are what I call the light worker, being the light worker in the trenches. We're not necessarily the famous ones who are out there writing the books and going out and speaking and, that everyone knows about. But, we've learned from those teachers and, from cards and things like this and from the angels. And we're doing the light worker work in the trenches, in the day-to-day experiences of life, in the day-to-day interactions that we have with other people, in our families, amongst our friends, in our jobs. That's where we're shining our light. So this card is an emphasis to have faith that you're doing that, okay, and that you are valued and appreciated for being that light worker in the trenches, as I like to call it. I'm going to pull another card from this deck today because I'm really liking where it's going next. So it's also an urging to keep moving forward, okay? Keep moving forward. You are making progress, whether you can visibly see it or not yet. Sometimes when we can't see it, we think, oh, God, this is going nowhere. But that isn't always the case. So I'm just going to pull one from this deck because nothing popped out. Okay, this one wants to come out. Blessing in disguise. You got to love when that card comes out. So, and the message on this card, I'm going to move this over. Actually, I'll move it over here. There we go. So, the blessing in disguise card. And what that says is, what appears to be a problem is actually part of your answered prayer. You'll understand the reasons behind your present situation as everything resolves. Trust in heaven's protection and infinite wisdom to answer your prayer in the best way. So as I look at this card is that, some of the initial hits that I get on it, one of the first ones is that if you've been having technical difficulties trying to get some kind of, email or something like that out and you're just getting frustrated by it, maybe your technology has crashed in some way, what this card says very plainly is what appears to be a problem is actually part of an answered prayer. So sometimes, when I learned this from some people I was interacting with the other day, sometimes when we're taking a big leap forward, we have a crash in some other area where our technology crashes or something like that. So, and sometimes it just comes up as a challenge to you. I think sometimes it's the way of God and the angels kind of testing us a little bit, testing our mettle to see if we're really ready to go to that next level. So it is a little bit of a blessing in disguise. Or sometimes, I also get right now is if something happens to your car and it just seems so annoying because it seems to happen at the worst possible time. What this card says is that, although you can't see it in the moment, there is a blessing that comes from it. Maybe it leads to getting a new, better, more secure car that works out better for you. Or, with the technology thing, maybe it helps you to find new resources, better servers, a new web host, a new website developer, or even, maybe it's the kick in the butt you need that gets you a piece of new technology that works better for you. And whatever the case, the blessing is that it's helping to push you up to the next level by saying, okay, you have to leave this behind. So you know, and also, I mean, if in other ways, if there's some other different issue that you're wrestling with, something that has come up that to you appeared to be a problem, and maybe you were assertive enough to speak up about it, okay? Know that that is a blessing in itself. It's maybe raised some awareness in some way to an issue that a lot of other people were having. And maybe you're not the only lone voice who's speaking up about it. Maybe there's other people, and maybe you didn't know it at the time, but maybe there's a whole bunch of other people that felt the same way that you did. And, by you speaking up about it, you joined your voice with theirs, and are bringing awareness to something. So although it initially presented itself as a problem, ultimately it may be a blessing because it's going to bring about the change that's needed. So those are some awarenesses I get as I look at that card. And I love when I get that card because it's really, to me, it's like a comforting message, because it's saying that, something that you've encountered that it was just frustrating you, maybe you got really fired up about, and angry enough even to speak up about, or whatever it was or is for you, there's a blessing to it. Okay, there's something good that's going to come out of it. And we just can't always see it in the moment. But our angels are here to remind us of that, which always is nice. So those are our messages for Thursday. And thank you so much for joining me on the video today for the reading. And thanks to everyone for all the comments that you leave on the channel page. I really do appreciate it. Or on the comment section below where the reading comes through. So thank you all so much for joining me. Thank you for your comments. I really do appreciate them. Thanks for being part of the channel. Thanks to the new subscribers who have joined us. And I look forward to speaking with you again tomorrow, Friday, heading in for the weekend. All right? Take care. Have a great Thursday, everyone.